I love your expression while you're watching that intro. Like, what did I get myself into? Hello, everybody. My name is Frank Martin. Welcome to a new episode of Right Now, the online live streaming writing show, which is kind of the best way I can describe it. Today, my guest is Rob Salkowitz. And as I just started this show, obviously, primarily, I wanted to talk to my creator friends and do this with a whole bunch of people who are into making comics and such. But I didn't want to kind of box myself in. This isn't a traditional interview show, and so I didn't want to treat it with just traditional interview guests. So Rob is from a different side of comics journalism, and he will tell you about all of his accomplishments, including a very cool one, which just happened. So take it away. I'll let you do your own intro.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So my name is Rob Salkowitz. I'm a writer and sayer of things about comics. I write for Forbes, of all things, and for ICB2, which is the trade pub for the comics business, and occasionally for Publishers Weekly and things like that. I teach comics and communication at the University of Washington. I do random other things in the industry that pay the rent. And a few years ago, I wrote a book called Comic-Con and the Business of Pop Culture, which came out in 2012 and was about how comics managed to eat the rest of popular culture and spit out an unending series of movies and video games and all kinds of other stuff. So that made me the guy who wrote a book about Comic-Con, and since then I've been doing a lot of other kinds of writing. Earlier this week, I got the surprising and highly welcome news that I got nominated for Eisner Award for comics journalism. I was nominated last year also and didn't win, but it was surprising this year because they had actually done away with the category. So I had submitted my application anyway, even though they said we're not looking at journalists anymore. We're just looking at comic-based publications. And the judges must have thought, okay, well, we'll let that guy in again. So anyway, that's big news. And if you are a professional in the comic book industry, Eisner Award voting is open. You have nothing but great choices in all the categories, but in the comics journalism category as well. Lots of great people were nominated. I submit my work humbly for your consideration, but there's lots of other there's lots of good stuff there. So anyway, go to the Eisner voting, vote, pick your favorites, and we'll see who wins in July.
I remember when that happened. There was a little bit of a backlash because people said that comics journalism is very important, and why are you going to be doing away with this category for people?
There's an old saying that you don't pick fights with people who buy ink by the barrel. And so me and several of my colleagues took umbrage at this in print in our various platforms and perches and blasted away at it. But I didn't think it would do any good. But
what did they nominate you in that category, or did they bring the category?
No,
back?
they read. So the category used to be comics journalism and publication, and because back when the Eisners were invented, they didn't think anybody would be writing about comics in any serious publication. It was like for the Comics Journal or for Comic Buyer's Guide or Alter Ego or something like that. It was for publications within the world of comics that were about comics. So there was not really a distinction between writing about comics on your blog or whatever, like your blog was about comics. It wasn't about other stuff. And then in the last 10 years or so, there's been people writing about comics for all kinds of places, and the Atlantic and the New York Times and Forbes and stuff like that. And it's actually kind of important because we reach a wider readership and we promote the medium to a different audience, and we can cast the light onto the actual creators, because all anybody in these publications wants to read about is the movies and all of that nonsense. And to say, hey, did you know that was actually based on a comic by these guys? And here's an interview with these people, or that sort of thing. I feel like it's kind of an important thing in the ecosystem to tell those stories, not just to the people that would read Alter Ego or something like that, but to people that to whatever weird freak reads Forbes for the comics coverage.
So it's like you've become a victim of your own success a little bit.
Yeah, and so last year it was a little weird because they were nominating all of these publications, and then there was me. And instead of like having the things from like my byline or something like that, they had like this giant picture of me on the screen. I'm like, everybody was like looking like, oh, that guy, And so hopefully this year, if they do it again, I have offered to make available better screenshots so they don't need to project my face 30 feet tall.
I have to express a level of gratitude for the work that you do, because stuff like that, putting comics journalism in these other outlets, it's legitimized the industry a whole lot, because like you said, they never imagined that they'll be talking about comics in all of these different publications. And the fact that they do, it says, look, it's a legitimate literary art form. It's not just for kids anymore, which is how people viewed it decades ago. So thank you for your service.
Your service, sir. Yeah. It's a lot of fun, and it's good stuff. And you'll notice that one thing missing from my resume is fiction writing. So
we got a question. Was it at least the drawing?
Yes, it was the drawing. I've redone the drawing because, like Dorian Gray, it's like I'm getting older and the picture stays the same. So it's like I guess that's the opposite of Dorian Gray. But anyway, I recently redid the drawing to mark my face to market.
Perfect. So thank you for coming on. I don't know how much fiction writing experience you have, but it doesn't matter. We make it up as we go. So it should be a blast. These stories get very silly very quickly because if you take it too serious.
No writer grows up and says, "I want to be a business writer." So I have written stuff, but I have not achieved much success with it. So we'll see.
We shall see. So how we get started is I have to click this thing, and then I click this thing. No, that's the wrong thing to click. No, that's the wrong thing to click too. Present, share screen. Yes. And I've only just recently realized that I can actually zoom in and make that bigger so that it's easier for people to read. It's weird how it took me a dozen episodes to figure that out. But anyway, for those who are tuning in for the first time, the way this works is very simple. I will start off writing a sentence. When I am done, Rob will pick up after me and write another sentence to continue the story. And we would just keep going round and round and round. Hopefully we come up with a masterpiece. We have not planned this. This is all kind of off the cuff. We're making it up as we go. The only stipulation is every episode has to have a theme, meaning that every sentence has to include some sort of element in order to be counted or qualify. Otherwise, I yell at Rob and make him include something. Today's episode is going to be office. So anything office related needs to be included in the sentence. Stapler, photocopier, fax machine, pencils, I don't know, things you find in an office, cubicles. We will kind of figure it out as we go. So without any further ado, Rob, do you have any questions?
I do not.
All right, perfect. You know what, I think I'm going to make this a little bigger. Oh, is 200 good? Oh, that's too big. No, we'll stick with 150. All right. So I find it best to include the setting in the opening sentence, because if the element is office, it doesn't make sense to have it at the beach. So we will see running late. Tammy rapidly swiped her key card into the, what is that thing called? We'll just call it a reader. Into the reader, desperate to get to her desk before her boss saw her. I kind of wiped off a bunch of them, a bunch of office elements there. I got key card, I got desk, and I got boss. So
got it.
I heard you used up a bunch. Sorry. So we got a lot open going. We don't know what Tammy does.
Oh, wait. Oh, what did I just do there?
It looked like you got rid of it. You got
to. There we go. Oh,
yeah.
I see. Okay.
You did a little. Command Z.
I just did that. Yeah. Let's see.
It's weird how when you first start writing or typing, I never had all of these shortcuts, and now I can't live without them. Oh, I think we have the smack talk starting already.
Well, that's autocracy. Oh God, former colleagues and students, they're coming out of the woodwork. I know you.
That's what makes this show so daunting, is that it's live, so you got an audience. It's all right. It's all good fun. As she hurried through the lobby, she almost missed the set of legs sticking out of the industrial shredder. Huh. Is that they're not supposed to be legs in the industrial shredder?
No, there aren't.
Okay. All right.
I thought I'd take a dark turn right away, just to get
industrial shredder. Do they make industrial? They have to make industrial shredder.
I'm thinking of the Office version of that scene from Fargo where they're at the end where he's sticking the legs in the shredder and the cop comes and says, "What are you doing there?"
I mean, I'll go with it, but it's kind of. I think OSHA would have a problem with that.
I think so. I think it's not to code.
All right. So as she hurried through the lobby, she almost missed the set of legs sticking out of the industrial shredder. All right. You're putting me on the spot here right from the get-go. Tammy, put on the brakes to suddenly stop. It missed the blood pooling on the floor and slid straight into a, why not, vending machine. All right, we got
okay.
Maybe what do we have here? Is this a murder mystery?
It's starting. It's definitely there is.
There's definitely something wrong.
The number one thing you need in a murder mystery is a murder. So maybe I suspect foul play. I don't think it was an accident.
We'll have to figure it out. That's the thing about this this exercise, is that you kind of just have to figure it out as you go. We definitely have a body, which is the first step, right? Was it an accident, though? If it was an accident, it would be boring. So we can't have it be an accident. Murder's far more interesting than just accidentally falling into an industrial shredder. That actually sounds like if Shredder had the origin story of the Joker.
Right.
He fell into an industrial shredder instead of a vat of chemicals. You are right. You are a fast typer. You're done already. Usually, with most people, I could get into I could ramble for a minute or two before I have to look at the thing again. By habit, she wondered if she had enough change for a coffee before realizing the gravity of the situation. Coffee is an essential office equipment.
Exactly.
So yep. It works perfectly. All right, we got a new sentence here. Slowly climbing to her feet, Tammy approached. I want to do something, but I don't think it's going to count as no. I was going to do
you're the judge and the jury.
I know. Usually I rule in favor of myself, but not this time. I was going to have her have the legs have soft shoes for people working in an office, but that's not really, you're sitting in an office, so you don't need the shoes.
The irony here is I haven't worked in an office in 30 years.
So that's why I chose it, to make it challenging. Slowly climbing to her feet, Tammy approached the shredder and discovered, I need to get An office element regarding feet.
Hmm.
You know what? We will I'll do something simpler. Tammy approached this is whatever. Tammy approached the shredder and discovered Paul's name tag, whatever.
There you go.
Attached to his I don't want to use shredded. What's a good synonym for shredded? Seared, is that like no, it's not seared.
Mutilated?
Busted, collapsed, cracked, crumbled, crushed. No, those aren't good. I'm just gonna say ripped. That works.
Yep. There you go.
Sometimes the simplest is the easiest. Attached to his ripped pants. So now we got a name for our body.
Yep.
How does she suspect that it's foul play? Google correction wants to tell me that name tag is 2 words.
Got it.
I never trust that. Let's see what the internet says. Name tag, 1 word or 2? I guess it could be either. These are the weird things writers actually care about, whether name tag is 1 word or 2. All right, what do we got going on? Poor bastard, she thought he must have stolen the wrong person's stapler 1 too many times. Oh, she's assuming it's the murder right off the bat. It's like Gotham. If you find a dead body, chances are somebody's responsible. He must have stolen the wrong person's stapler 1 too many times. I'm trying to figure out where she is. So when I said swiped her key card into the
right, so I'm picturing they're in the lobby of the building,
lobby.
right? And so like like they've got like a big industrial stapler next to the what do they call it?
In the lobby somewhere.
In the lobby, right?
So
come down and they dump their shit in there.
So there's something strange about this that stands out to me, and I'm going to use that for my next sentence. Looking for help, Tammy spun in circles, only to realize the lobby was empty, including the security desk. And there's my office element. So I thought if there's a body in the lobby, that's somebody would have noticed or security would have stepped in, but the place is vacant.
Exactly.
I think we got a Die Hard on our hands. Oh, Steph, I'm not live streaming hits a new low. So Steph has the habit of jumping on my live streams and acting like he's important, but I'm not looking at the comments this time like I am with Chuck. So I don't see all of your suggestions for your words: diced, chopped, sliced, mangled. I mean, I try. Also, you need a comma between right and Frank, just so you know. That's I'm talking about the comment on the you. I'm not talking about your writing. I'm sure it's perfect. And then genius. I don't know what that's referring to, but so far this entire story is genius. So I'm gonna just assume it goes to all of it. Looking around, Timmy spun in circles. Everything okay down there? Squawked a voice over the intercom.
Intercoms are in offices, right?
They are. Especially it's at the. I would imagine it's at the security desk because that's right. That's how they talk to each other. Scrambling over to the desk. Tammy rapidly hits the intercom and shouts. What does she shout? Shout something with a I'm gonna put security here. She has to shout something with an office element.
We can't reuse, right? You're my intercom.
We can't reuse. No, that would be too easy. So
Yeah.
security desk, intercom. We've already used those. So I try to have to be a stickler for myself. Paul is dead, and he still owes me $30 from the Office
There you
Super
go.
Bowl. This has like one of the feel of one of those like crime comedies, or
Right.
like what was like that? Knives Out was like that.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's a serious murder. People are dying, but everybody cracks jokes and nobody takes anything seriously.
My wife and I watch an unhealthy amount of murder mystery shows on TV to unwind. So.
Oh, you've been watching Only Murders in the Building?
Oh yes, love that one.
That's a great one. They're
This
fabulous.
This has a bit of a vibe to it.
Yeah, Only Murders vibe. The wild thing about that show is that it's successful, so it keeps going. But there's only so many times somebody could die in these people orbit before it's like they're cursed. Like, how many seasons can they keep this going for?
Yeah, right.
I had a guy on last episode, and he's writing a kind of a zany superhero comic, kind of like the 60s Batman.
Right.
And it's funny how the story we were writing kind of turned into that. So it's like the things people enjoy, kind of maybe the tone of the story sort of gravitates towards that. It's interesting.
Right.
Roger that. We'll be right down as soon as we've... That's such a great answer for hearing that somebody's dead. Roger that.
What do they call those things? Oh, morning stand up, right? That's
staff meetings, right? Is that what you're trying to say? We finished the morning.
Yeah, like but
rounds.
Like stand up is kind of like the jargon in the tech industry. It's like every morning we have the stand up where we're going through like the issues of the day.
I don't know what it's called. I'll have to take your word for it.
This is what my paying clients tell me. So
you're getting confirmation. Stand up is right.
Yes. Okay.
I'm more of a creative guy, so whenever I hear the word stand up, I immediately think comedy. I watch a lot. They can
be unintentionally funny, but I don't think that they're. I don't think you're gonna catch them at the Comedy Store anytime soon.
Roger that. We'll be right down as soon as we finished the morning stand up. Okay. All right. Let's. I think it's time to get some context to this.
Bring it on.
A few moments later, we have a problem here, and that's the lobby is empty. Right. And the security guard is not there. So my thought was that there was some like catastrophe that happened that prevented like an apocalypse, that everybody's dead. But obviously if the stand-up is going, they think upstairs that everything is fine. So,
and she's a little early, right? So she's trying to come in before the boss. So maybe the security guy was...
She's running late. The first sentence of the story is running late.
Oh, right. Oh, she's running late. Okay, right. Yeah.
So, we gotta work around this. So okay. A few moments later, Tammy's boss enters the lobby, notices the body, and ignores it, choosing to address Tammy directly. This is not the greatest prose, but directly by saying, now that you're late again, young lady, you'll need to be, I don't know if this counts, but I'm going to count it. You'll need to be put on probation. I want to say doc pay. Yeah, why not? You'll need to have your pay docked.
Okay.
Tammy's boss. Let's give him a name. He seems important enough. Chad. A few moments later, Tammy's boss, Chad, enters the lobby, notices the body, and ignores it, choosing to address Tammy directly by saying, "Now that you're late again, young lady, you'll need to have your pay docked." Okay.
Okay.
Let's move this sucker down a little bit. A few moments later, there was some context. Writers shouldn't beat around the bush. Just say what they're trying to do. Chilling thought occurred to Tammy as she contemplated. Oh, we're gonna have a visitor soon. What is it, young son, who was told to leave me alone? A chilling. Oh, he's still going.
And
Oh, girl, I know you're hungry.
Timesheets.
Okay. Chilling thought occurred to Tammy as she contemplated her boss's words and attitude, and she decided to check the timesheets at the security desk. Oh, this is... Where is Paul? He's the security guard, right?
Is he the security guard?
I could have sworn I said the name Paul.
Well, Paul is the guy in the bot in
Paul's the guy. Okay.
But he's got his name badge, but we don't know if he's a security guard or I don't think we've established that.
No. All right, so let's make things simpler. And Tammy can only realize that, including the security desk. Well, if the security desk was empty, she would have to assume that Paul is not the security guard. So, where is security? Chad asked. But he never got an answer. Oh, no, where is security? Chad asked. But his answer came in the form of a scream when buzzwords. She decided to check the when Tammy came around the desk and found the security guard's dead body stuffed under it. Uh-oh. With a pencil jammed in his forehead. Victim number 2.
Yeah.
Paul and the security guard both taken out. Creating a lot of mystery here. We're going to have to wrap up at some point.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I have a thought, but
thoughts generally don't go well in this, because you'll try to plan like 5 sentences ahead, only to realize that the other person completely screws it up.
No.
Signs of a struggle, Tammy thought, jotting a note on her mental notepad.
I'm thinking like on her. On
her BlackBerry.
Not BlackBerry anymore. On her Galaxy phone.
Galaxy phone. What was besides a BlackBerry, there was another like business phone that people used all the time. On her Galaxy phone.
Yeah.
Jotting a note.
on her mobile device. Let's not give Samsung any more PR. They don't need it.
No, yeah, I don't want copyright suit on our hands. The size of a struggle, Tammy thought, jotting a note on her mobile device. Now I'm gonna throw a wrench in the mix. You ready?
The plot thickens.
The plot will thicken.
All right.
Looking for more clues, Tammy leaned in. All right, I got to get an office. I know what I want to write, but I need an office element to fit in there. Looking for clues, Tammy leaned in and noticed the eraser had broken off the pencil. Meaningless clue, but I need an office element. Noticed the eraser had broken off the pencil, but it was far more interesting that inside the guards. I have so many run-on sentences doing this show.
Right?
Interesting that inside the guards' firmly clutched hands was a piece of red hair, the same shade as that on top of Chad's head.
Uh-oh.
I don't know how, I don't know why, but it happened, so we have to figure it out. Is Chad being framed? I have to keep. I'm writing on a different computer than I'm streaming on, so I have to remember to do this.
Yep.
To move it so that people can follow and see all the glory, this wonderful murder mystery that we're concocting here. Scanning through the timesheets on the monitor, Tammy found the evidence she was expecting. Scanning through the timesheets in the monitor, Tammy found the evidence she was, I don't know what it says there, expecting. Both Paul and the security guard had signed in late at least 6 times in the past month. Brilliant twist.
Because we know how Chad feels about being punctual.
Yeah. So, yeah. She gulped. Let's do gulped. Why not? Because that's what people do. She gulped, looked up slowly, and saw a menacing stare leering at her through Paul's. This is pushing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. Reading glasses.
I don't know. I think you've already got sexual harassment in there, which is an office thing, right? So
yes. Chad's not just a murderer; he's also a creep. Oh no, he's not Paul. It's Chad. I broke Paul. Oops. She gulped, looked up slowly, and saw a menacing stare leering at her through Chad's reading glasses. That would actually make a very funny movie, a murder, like a slasher movie about a boss who kills people because they're late all the time.
So a couple of, like last week, I did a story because they're bringing back EC Comics. Oni Press is bringing back EC Comics, and when you said gasp, I was thinking of the EC Comics where it's always gasp, Paul, he's you're the murderer. But that was what we're concocting here is very much in the EC spirit. Maybe we should pitch it to those guys when we're finished.
I always get hung up on those weird. I guess they're like onomatopoeias, the sound effects that aren't really sound effects, but they're spoken words. Like when somebody's running and it says huff, puff. It's I mean, I put it in there as a comic writer. I use it all the time, but it's like when people are huffing and puffing, they're not saying huffing and puffing. It's just...
Sometimes the sound effects are I don't know. There are ones that are not any sounds produced in nature. Let's put it that way.
Sound effects are my Achilles heel. My wife will hear me from the other room sometimes and be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Hey, I'm trying to figure out what to put on pal." I also get lazy with my sound effects when I'm scripting because you can ignore me and just type because
no, that's all right.
No, I'll just if I know like something is happening, like metal is being cut in half, I'll just put something, and I letter my own books, so I know I'll just put something in the script, and then I'll have to. I'm creating a problem. Scripting Frank is creating a problem for lettering Frank to figure out, pretty much. It's time for your semi-annual review, said Paul dryly. Brilliant line. I love it. It's time for your semi-annual review, said Paul dryly. I am going to cheat.
Okay.
I'm going to cheat because I'm not going to write a new sentence. No, actually, you know what? I'm going to write a new sentence. No, I'm not going to write a new sentence. I'm going to use my sentence to tack onto yours. While pulling out a geez, what are those things called? You see them in schools all the time when it's like a knife. It's got a blade, but you lift it up and you slice it down.
Like a paper cutter?
Is that what it's called, a paper cutter?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's not something that you're carrying around in your suit pocket, but
I was like, if he pulls it out of his back, how hilarious would that be? Or I should pull out something similar, something simpler. He needs a weapon.
What are those? Like those spikes that you put the invoices on when you're done with it? You know?
Oh, I don't know.
You can get a lot of mayhem done with one of those.
Paper, is that a thing? Paper spike. Spindle.
Yes.
They actually have a name. Awesome. Dryly, while pulling out. Should the comma go there? We're going to put a comma there. Why not? While pulling out a spindle. A blood-drenched. Everything is better when it's blood-drenched.
Everything.
Spindle out from behind him. This would just went from murder mystery to slasher real quick. Are you a horror fan?
Absolutely.
I grew up. I'm a Blockbuster kid, so I grew up going like down the line in the horror section. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Slumber Party Massacre, Camp Massacre, just like all the cheesy B slasher movies from the 80s. Wow, how much time are we at? We're at 38 minutes. All right, we keep going for a little bit.
Are we good?
We're good. No, I try to keep these stories self-contained with a beginning, middle, and end. So I have to. I don't want to go. I don't want to write for 3 hours. Come up with a 100,000 word novel. So at some point we're gonna have to try to wrap it up. But we got time, so we could get some more action. I like that. Very rarely do I Google the name of something specific, and it turns out to be so easy. It says a spindle, or colloquially, a spike.
Right.
So spike does work too. What do we got here? Well, I was planning on quiet quitting, but I guess it's going to be the hard way, said Tammy. You're on fire here with the one-liners, I must say. Tammy producing her. I love how we never made it to the office. This entire action is happening in the lobby. Tammy reaching for the 3-hole punch on the security desk. Oh, I thought she was going to take off, but no, Tammy's a badass. She's going to stay and fight. I feel like I have to match you with the one-liners here. I feel like I have to say something. I don't want to. No, let's get into the action.
It's the point of collaboration, right? Bringing out the best in each other.
uh, should they clash? Should they clash? Or should I have just Paul? You know what? You screwed it up too.
Uh-oh.
It's time for your semi-annual review, said Paul. No, it's Chad.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I
Got it, yes.
So, because I only remembered that because I wanted to say Paul's blood was on the floor. I was going to have him Chad run across the floor and then slip, and then the spike like flies in the air and then lands in his head, ending him real quick. But no, we gotta keep the action alive.
Yeah.
So I need an office. All right, I know what to do. Chad charged at Tammy and thrust the.
I'm not seeing where you're typing here. Oh, I see. You're on the next page. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to want to scroll up, I think. Yeah.
You're right. There we go. Thank you. Chad charged at Tammy and thrust the spindle. I do this when I'm writing a story about myself too. I talk to myself as I'm writing. I feel it's weird, but Chad charged at Tammy and thrust the spindle in her direction, causing Tammy to block. No, I don't like the way that turned out. Chad charged at Tammy, thrust the spindle in her direction. And I don't know why, but severed the hole punch, sending tiny bits of paper raining through the air like confetti. So paper is my office element there, even though it's technically not paper. It's just like little tiny bits of paper.
Yep. Got it.
Chad charged at Tammy, thrust the spindle in her direction, and severed the hole punch. So he just went right through it. That's kind of badass.
It is.
I got a kid screaming in the background. I'm trying to tell if it's like a real emergency or just a fake one. All right, you can write the next sentence. I'm going to mute myself as I yell.
Gotcha. All right. Oops.
Now let's see how hurt he really is. Come on. The older brother and the younger brother are doing stuff.
Gotcha.
And Tammy definitely stepped aside, sending Chad sprawling into the corner of the desk. What's up? Are you okay? What's wrong? Are you hurt? What's wrong? No, you just want to cuddle? You could do that too. You want to read the story with me? So right now a boss is trying to kill his worker because she was late. Yeah, I know. Interesting, right? Now you're interested.
Now he's interested.
Yeah. So Chad is the boss and Tammy's the worker. So Chad charged at Tammy, thrust the spindle in her direction, and severed the hole punch, sending tiny bits of paper raining through the air. I forgot air, like confetti. Tammy deftly stepped aside, sending Chad sprawling into the corner of the desk, where he let out a yelp and doubled over.
Who's
okay.
L?
Who's what?
Where's L?
Where's air? Right here. I
Oh.
just typed it.
Hmm.
So what would be your office element? I think you need to.
Well, desk, no, or have we used desk?
We use desk. So it would be. How about where he doubled over while grabbing onto a coat rack? I don't know. Offices have coat racks, right?
Yep, sure. Yes, they
Doubled
do.
over while grabbing onto a coat rack. All right, now we are 45 minutes in. So at this point, what we're gonna do is 3 for 3. Each of us will have 3 sentences left. We're gonna continue the same
Okay.
format. I write one, you write one, I want to run, you write one, and then we're over. That's to let us know that
Yep.
we're winding the story down and putting a little bow on this sucker.
Got it.
Timmy definitely stepped aside, sending Chad sprawling to the corner of the desk where he let out a yelp and doubled over while grabbing onto a cold rack. Sensing, so I'm gonna, you know what? I'm not gonna say anything. Sensing an opportunity for the killing blow, Tammy picked up. I'm gonna get oddly specific with this.
Nice.
The because you said Fargo,
Yeah.
the Fargo snow globe paperweight. I don't know, not the. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I feel like picked up the cornfield snow globe paperweight. The security guard had purchased with his family on a trip to Fargo and smashed Chad's head in with it. Why we needed that detail, I don't know, but it came to me, so I ran with it. It wants to make snow globe 2 words too. What is with this, Google? Yeah, no. It is 2 words. They don't say it's wrong, they just tell me to change it. Time for some workforce reductions. Ooh, you wrote these beforehand, didn't you?
I did not.
Time for some workforce reductions.
This is unfortunately just how my brain works. Luckily for everybody, I usually work by myself.
We have 2 more sentences each. While Tammy caught her breath, the rest of the office staff rushed into the lobby completely. I'm just going to say staff is the office element. Completely shocked at the scene they stumbled onto. So they had no idea that Chad walked in, killed Paul and the security guard, and then went upstairs for the beginning of the day.
Right.
What's going on in the background? Why is there fireworks?
What is going on in the background?
I have no idea what that was. That was truly bizarre. I didn't do that. I'm reminded of Shakespeare and monkeys.
Indeed. If there was only 2 monkeys and no Shakespeare.
How did I get fireworks on my live stream? That was wild. So I have 1 more sentence and you have 2 more.
Okay.
All right. We're in a good position to wind this down. Our murder's dead. The action has been unfolded. Who's up for a staff retreat? Asked Tammy with a grin, brandishing the paperweight. Okay. All right, let's wrap this up. What are we going to do? The last one to enter the scene Allowed. What's in ugh? What is that called? It's not a grunt. It's not really a sigh. Groan.
Yeah.
A loud groan echoed through the lobby, and everyone turned. I'm setting you up here.
Yep.
For a final catchphrase. A loud groan echoed through the lobby, and everyone turned to see the anguished janitor staring. No, anguished janitor, the last one to enter the scene, staring at all the blood. I love this word, viscera.
Ah, there you go.
Covering the floor. I love using that word. Anytime I have an opportunity to use viscera, I try to.
Viscera is a good word.
Covering the floor. So now I set you up for a good. Where is she? Leave the train the battery. Where is she? Sarah's house. Perfect. He thought. And now. Oh, more. Oh, well, at least I'll clock in a few more hours of overtime, he thought, as he began mopping up. He began mopping up with everybody just standing there. That's great. As he began mopping up the lobby. Oh, and more. We keep going. It's done the previous month.
This happens every month at this office.
Yep. And now the best part of every story. The end. Perfect. That was a good one.
I hope it wasn't too madcapping off the wall for you. I don't know.
No. I know what I haven't. We haven't had a murder mystery yet. We've had plenty of fights. These always seem to turn into these always get very violent, and there's a lot of fights going on.
As you know, I once saw Stan Lee on a late night show or something like that. And somebody asked him, why are your comics always so violent? And he says, it's not action, my good man. It's not violence, my good man. It's action.
Yeah, everybody loves action. So, because, we had mystery, which was our action. And then once the mystery was solved, which was Chad was the killer, it just became violence to keep the action going. Well, thank you, Rob, for coming on. This was a good time. I had fun. I hope you had a good time. I think we came up with a nice story. And if you want to tell people out in the good interwebs how they can follow you and stalk you and all that good stuff.
Well, gee, I used to be on the Bird Place a lot, but it's gone septic, so I don't do that as much. Unfortunately, I can't kill my account there, which is at Rob Salk. Because I do have to promote my work on there.
That's the devil's bargain we've made in
it does get
social
to reach.
Media world.
I have long had an Instagram where I put my non-professional artwork, but if you're resourceful, you'll find that. I'm not going to promote it. Professional people find me on LinkedIn, the world's most boring social network. And if you are at San Diego Comic-Con, I will probably be there, and I will certainly be there, and I will probably be doing lots of stuff. So come up, say hi. Otherwise, you can find me on Forbes and I don't know, Google me.
Google me.
I'm not that hard to find, and there's not a lot of Rob Salkowitzes out there.
So I'm gonna do something for the first time on this show. I'm gonna play a game. What do you think our final word count is?
Oh. Okay, I'm not looking because there's something there that'll tell me. So we got a page and a half at 12 point. I would say 620.
620. I'm gonna go with 619. I'm gonna play the Price is Right strategy.
All right.
And the end result is 640. Ooh, pretty good. Pretty
not
good. You
not my
won.
first rodeo, unfortunately.
You
But
won. You won 5 right now points.
okay.
So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I hope you had a good time watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. And until next time, adios.